Hey guys, Alan here. Welcome back to Monday Money in a Minute. One of the most frustrating conversations I have with people goes something like this. Alan, my house is worth over $1 million. I only owe about 300,000. So I've got $700,000 in equity. Why won't the bank lend me another 500,000? It's a fair question. In fact, it's one of the biggest misunderstandings I see because people often confuse equity with borrowing power. They're connected, but they're not the same thing. So let's open the black box. Here's your Monday Money Minute. Equity and borrowing power are two completely different things. Equity is much more about the property that you own. Borrowing power is whether you can comfortably afford another loan. Think of it this way. Equity answers the question, is there enough property? Borrowing power answers the question, is there enough income? You can have plenty of equity, but if your income won't support another repayment, you may not be able to borrow more. On the other hand, someone with less equity but strong income may still qualify. So that's your Monday Money Minute. Now, let's pull back the curtain. The misunderstanding that catches people out the most is because they've watched the property grow in value over many years. And rightly so. They've built wealth. But lenders look at two completely different things. The first is security. The second is your ability to repay. Both matter. Neither replaces the other. Imagine I've got two glasses sitting here. One glass is called equity and the other glass is called borrowing capacity. Now imagine your home's value goes up. It's like pouring more water into the equity glass. The equity glass gets fuller. That's great. But nothing's gone into the borrowing capacity glass. That glass is filled by something completely different. Your income, your expenses, your existing debts, your ability to make additional repayments. So you can have a full equity glass and a half empty borrowing capacity glass. Or you might have a smaller equity glass but a completely full borrowing capacity glass. They're connected, but they're not the same thing. Pouring more water into one doesn't magically fill the other one. Connecting it to the 5 C's. That's why in our last session we talked about the 5 C's of lending. So one of those C's is collateral. That's your equity glass. The other one is capacity. That's your borrowing capacity glass. The lender needs both. One doesn't replace the other. So here's today's rule. Equity gets you through one door. Borrowing capacity gets you through the other. You need both. Understanding the difference can save you a lot of disappointment. And to help you plan your next move much more efficiently, here's this week's action. Before next Monday, take 2 separate pieces of paper. On one, write down what you own. Your home, investment properties, savings, assets, anything else that you might have that's got value. On the other sheet, write down your income, every regular repayment that you make. You'll quickly see you're looking at two completely different pictures. One is your wealth and the other one is your borrowing capacity. Knowing the difference is the first step towards making a better financial decision. So next week, next Monday, we're going to tackle another question that I hear all the time. This lender has the cheapest interest rates, so it must be the best loan. Maybe, maybe not. Because the cheapest rate isn't always the cheapest loan. So I'm Alan. This is Monday Money in a Minute. Thanks for joining me. See you next week.